Hello everyone, welcome back. Well, I got all my tools here, so I'm ready to go here. I got my drawing pad, I got my cover sheet, put my hand on, I got my pencils nice and sharp. Then I'm going to use all my pencils. I'm going to use my 4H, my HB, and my 2B. Also, I got a couple three erasers here. I got my knead eraser. I got my polymer eraser. I also got one more here. This is my little Mono Zero. It's made by a company named Tombow. I'm pretty sure I got these off Amazon. They got a little tiny polymer eraser inside. It works a lot like a mechanical pencil. And you get refills for them. They're really great for getting in here and getting a little bitty piece of graphite off here. I use them a lot for like in hair, where I need a little highlight here and there, or in the eye where I want to highlight, things of that nature. In tiny places, they're really hard to beat. When the end eraser gets messed up, you just take it like a X-Acto knife, or you get a razor blade, just cut it off, you got a new eraser. They come in here round or square. They're nice to have. No, they're not necessary today, but they're great if you got them. Now, I want to talk today what is commonly called line quality. Now, it's a nice term that someone came up with that describes line weight, or the thickness of line, or the tone of a line from dark to light. I thought to demonstrate it, I'll just draw something. What I got here is a Sharpie. And that's what I'm going to use. And that's what I'm going to draw. I use these Sharpies primarily in cartooning, where I want to put a little line quality in it. If I draw a dragon, I got scales on the side. I use my little ultra fine to go around scales and pop them out a little bit. I might use my fine line up in the head, where I might have some darker lines here and there. Give a little interest here. So let's draw this thing out right quick, and I'll talk about it as I go. I'm going to start off with my 4H pencil. Because that is my go-to. That's what I draw with the most often. Start out with. Now, I've got a light source that's coming down from here. It's going to be hitting the top of this pen, but everything on the top is going to have to be lighter. Everything on the bottom is going to have to be darker. So, first thing I do is start with the end cap. The whole thing is made up pretty much of rectangles and squares. Simple geometric shapes. Going to be pretty simple to draw out. This is nothing but a rectangle. That's all it is. Then you got the next part of it. It's also a rectangle. It's a little smaller diameter. It's a little bit longer. It comes out like this. Then you got the next piece. It's smaller yet. It comes out here like so. Then you got a little square on the end of it, like this. Then you come into the tip. Got a little black square piece. Starts out with. Then you got a rectangular piece. Then you got the little triangle shape and the end. Then you got the little pocket clip. At the bottom of it, it's got a little rectangular piece, like that. Then it's got a piece comes out here like this, kind of curves down, around. It's also a rectangle. It comes out here, and it loops up here to a rectangle. And this third piece follows it and attaches to it. And that's all there is to it. Now, this pen is round. Everything on here is pretty much square and straight up and down. So let's see if we can make this a little bit rounder. We'll start by erasing these little lines here that are vertical on this one. And we put them into an arc. And that was my 2B. I really need to color code these things. Here we go. Do all the vertical lines that way. Let's see, make these things just everything just a little bit lighter here. I like to keep everything as light as possible. Now we got a pen that was somewhat round, and that's what we want. Now, problem being is, everything is still, the line weight's all the same, the shades are all the same, so I got no real line quality here in this at all, and it pretty much looks pretty dull. Let's go through our next darker pencil, which is our HB. We're going on the black cap. It's black around the whole thing. Now because we got the light on top, all this on top has to remain lighter than this down below. So we're going to make this line just a little bit thicker and darker. Get the cap. This is the same way. Make this one even darker. This is great, so I want to keep it lighter. But we're still going to go back and make it just a little bit darker and just a little bit thicker line. Like so. This is also very plastic. We'll do the same thing for it. This piece here. This is part of the black tip, so we go all the way around it. Keep the dark part darker. This is the end of it. It's also black plastic. Make this bottom darker. Then you got the triangle shape in the end. Well, we're starting to look a lot different here. Now, we'll go to our final pencil. That's our 2B. It's very dark. We're going to use it sparingly only in the very darkest places. Darkest places primarily right here underneath here. Just going to add a little bit for contrast. All we really want to do is dark here. Is dark here. You go up here on the end. It's dark here, and a tip. And that's it. That's line quality. Real simple and easy. We can add a little bit more here, 1 and 2. Because these goes from light to dark, these bottom lines will be darker at the bottom than they will on top. One until we go under HB, just a little bit touch at the bottom, just to get a little bit more contrast. That's it. Now I got some line quality. Not all the lines are the same thickness. None of them are the same shape. So it adds a little bit of interest to the whole drawing. That is line quality in a nutshell. Now, next thing we're going to do, get on to the next drawing. Get my 4H. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw on the lips. Like so. Switch up my HB. So I can make it a little bit darker here so I can see it. This is nothing more than a circle that's been flipped. When this little coffee cup lid, it is round when you look at it straight down that. As I turn it, it starts changing. It becomes an ellipse. You can do an ellipse from any angle you want. This angle probably shows it the best. This is round, this ellipse shape. Then I'm going to take 2 lines, I'm going to draw across top, one at the bottom, and we'll get some contour lines. And give it a light source. Now, while we're having on Earth, we have a such thing as a sun. It sits up in the sky. It's basically round shape, and it gets off, rays off the sun. They go in all different directions, all around the outside of it. Radiates outward. Light travels in a straight line. If I have an object down here, there's an object right behind it, sun cannot come down here and sweep around the outside of this like so and light up this object I got here. And how it works. You do have such a thing called reflecting light. Some people call it bounce light. Like I'm here, under an object over here. I may get the sunrise coming down here, hit this object, and bounce off onto this one. We call that reflecting light. Light follows the principles of physics. Whatever angle that light hits an object, it's going to bounce off in the same angle, no matter what that angle may be. That's basically how light works in a nutshell. Now, this picture here, if I'm standing here I'm not going to see that. It's out of sight. This here is going to become more the shape of this. We'll have more of this. Now, if I'm standing here, I'm going to see more of this side, but I can see none of this because it's blocked off. If I go here, I'm going to start seeing more and more of this shape, and this will start less and less of the ellipse and start to look like a circle. Eventually, if I'm standing in front of this, right in the front of it, I can see something along this line, the inside of the pipe. Like here, this is the thickness of the pipe. A lot of things we draw have thickness. A jar has thickness. A wine glass has thickness. A coffee cup has thickness. If we show the thickness, we can make our drawings look better. Now, the pipe, depending upon how long it is am I going to be able to see the very end of it or not? If it's short enough, I will. What I want to see is something along like this. I want to see outside, the thickness, and all these little lines getting smaller and smaller and smaller the further in it gets. At the end, it's going to be much smaller. For a simple reason, the further away something looks is the smaller it gets. A tree 2 blocks away is going to look much smaller than if you're standing right in front of it. Now, how much light gets in this pipe here will depend upon 2 things. One, the angle of it. If the sun is lower in, the horizon lower down, such as here, you would get more light coming in here. It will be able to penetrate further in. Now, something like this, all you're going to get is what reflective light. Light comes in at all different angles. It's going to hit the edge, it's going to hit here, then it hits this thing, bounce off all different directions. But still, the way this is going to work is at some point in time, it's going to be lighter up here, darker, 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 until it's far enough away, it's going to be completely black. You may be able to see it on the outside of here because there's light on the outside of this. You may be able to turn the pipe, but still light rays coming out here, so you will see a light inside here. Now, from this angle here, you're going to see all these little lines, but they're going to follow the shape of this. And they're going to gradually get smaller and smaller and smaller as we go in until it disappears completely. And that's what you're going to see. Now, how do we shade this? How do we make it look more realistic? Well, it's pretty simple. First off, all these are lines. When a cursor, we've already established in a previous video, when we're dealing with lines, we cannot shade with them like this, or we're going to end up losing our line quality. Everything is going to end up being the same tone. You have more of a problem if these lines are on the 4H and you're shading with an HB. You will lose them lines. One alternative we have to do is to go across them. We can go across them this way and shade down, lighter, 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 lighter. We still maintain the quality of our line because we're going across the entire thing. These are going to get darker, our lines going to get darker as we go along. But again, if your lines are done in 4H and you're shaping in 4B, you're probably going to have to go up here every now and then and touch your lines up a little bit and bring the line quality back. Now, this piece of pipe that we had before, it was dealing with curved lines. So I'm going to go with my 2H first. My 4H first. And I'm going to go at an angle. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. We need to finish this up. But I'm going to go at the angle. I'm going to start the darkest places first. That's going to be the top of the pipe and this side. So I'm going angle lines. Go over, and over, and over again. I'm treating what is called a buffer zone. I'm going to do that first. You're going to continue going down to the very darkest place with diagonal lines. Trying to pick up my pencil so I'm not scrubbing the surface with very short dagger strokes or double-ended dagger strokes. I go back over them until I have gotten all the value of this pencil that I want to get. That's as dark as I'm going to go with this pencil without bearing down on it. If I want to go any darker, I will go with the darker pencil. Now, that is as dark as this shadow I'm going to get on the side of the pipe as well as the top. I still got my line quality. Now, there, I start going down an angle. Going dark, starting at the top. Lighter, 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 lighter. As the pipe gets longer, my strokes get longer. And try not to go past the outside. Because the highlight area down here, I keep that as light as possible. I'll use my neat eraser later on and make my time bow to create a few highlights here and there. I'm using almost no pressure at all. I go back up here at the top and start working my way back down again, blending that in. Now, a lot of people use these things called tortillons, which are nothing more than a rolled up piece of paper, or they use called blending strumps. That's more or less a piece of rubber that's been put to a point. They use to blend everything, all your colors together. Totally unnecessary. My 4H is my blending tool. For those of you who've done watercolors, you know what I'm talking about. Use a white pencil to blend your colors in with. Again, you keep going over and over again. Still going lighter and lighter and lighter, but gradually bringing down a little bit more tone to it. That's all I'm going to do with this pencil. Then I go to my HB. Again, up here, go back over to the darker area. Start going back over my buffer zone. Make that a little bit darker. Like so. Then I start blending it in a second time. Lighter, 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 lighter. You notice I've still got my line quality. Then I go with my 2B, as we know that's our very darkest pencil, and we use it very sparingly in just some of the darkest places around here. Just a few. Maybe the top, a little bit along this edge here. Now you've laid your base, your 4H, your HB, you can go over this without any problem and not have very many light lines, like so. But very, very lightly, and probably just more at the top than you are at the bottom. Maybe blend that little buffer zone out a little bit. Talk about my blender. I've got my 4H, my HB, my 2B, and my HB here. I can take my 4H here, I can go over this again, and I can blend all that stuff together. Just like that. 4H works great for a blending tool. You go in here and you see any little white lines you got, you go in here and you touch them up. You go back in here and you can touch up your little lines here if you want to. And finally, now you see, as you look at it, it's darker here, it shakes down this way, it's darker here, it shakes this way. All we have to do is take our little neat eraser here, and just lightly, where it first starts coming in, and that's it. We can take our little eraser, go down the outside, kind of change up again. And I think we got a fair job of the fairly decent shading on this piece of tubing. Now, going back here, believe it or not, there is such a thing called a straight contour line. I'm going to draw, got your little templates here. I'm going to draw a basic circle. Like that. My highlight areas, I do what you call ticking. My highlight areas is going to be a series of dots. Down here where my core shadow is, my very darkest areas, that would be a line. Now, somewhere between this darkest area and lightest area, this part is called the mid-tone. That's halfway in between the light, halfway in between dark. That's the true value of this sphere. Now, I'm going to do this with my HB to demonstrate how you can make a round circle with just straight lines. You start drawing straight lines like so. Way back when printing presses first came out, they found out real quickly the straight line would print out better than curved lines, such thing. So artists are using this method to create round objects. If you were doing a picture like the Victorian area, something like this might work. A straight line across there. You don't worry about the white spaces so much. Then you go back in and start darkening this up with more straight lines, sort of following the curve of the ball. You can always turn it so you can follow the shape a little better, but you're still drawing with just straight lines. Like so. You get a few smaller ones and kind of go into this to kind of push your highlight out. Then you do your core shadow. Darker line, like so. Go down underneath here a little bit. Kind of start shading it down in here. Still using just straight line, the same way. And that's it. That's basically how you make a round object with nothing more than a straight line, as they did way back when. You can go in here with a 4/8 if you really want to mess with it. You can add some more lines here and there. Kind of blend these in a little bit. But it can be done. Now, if I had a cube, I'll draw a quick cube. And that's more than a rectangle. You draw lines at an angle from this corner, this corner, this corner, and you connect your lines up. Keeping all your angles true. This line should follow this line should follow this line, which is not very straight. Now, if I go and change a straight line, this is how you do it. Straight lines. This is my dark side. This is my shadow side. My sun's over here. This is my mid-tone side. This is my highlighted side. I'm going back. Straight lines. Right so. That's how you would shade this with just straight lines. This one I'll go this way. It's not as dark as that one. One, two, you can go the other way. This being the highlight, I want a little bit of shadows on this side. And that's how you work with shading with straight, what they call straight contour lines. Draw another circle, then you got your cross contour lines, which works much better on round objects. Again, I'll stick in my little highlight area. Like so. I'll draw in my little core shadow. Yeah. Contour lines are just that. They're just little crosses back and forth like this. And we use these to follow the shape of this ball. Just like so. Just little crosses. Crisscross little line. Follow the shape of the ball. You turn your ball around, so you just follow the shape. Just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This is your mid-tone, so you keep them a little bit lighter. Just follow this highlight area. Then you start blending them all in. Just like so. Your darkest area, you just simply add a few more lines. Like so, and follow that around. You keep doing this until you don't have any lines at all. That being my core shadow, I'm going to jump up my HB and work on that a little bit. Crisscross line. Until you draw your lines one way, and then you go back over if you want to. It doesn't matter however you choose to do them. But at the end of the day, you're still going to end up getting a little bit more around the circle and try to do it with straight lines. You can just keep blending them down a little bit. By varying your lines darker or varying your lines thicker, and that's basically all there is to it. And that concludes this series of videos on lines. What you want to practice now is go back and do your ink pen, do your spears or straight contour lines, practice doing your cubes, so you can come up with a better cube than what I came up with. Straight line corner, to the corner. Damn boy, how did I do that? Make sure this line follows the same angle as this line. This angle follows the same line as this line. And your cube, that's more rectangle, but you get the general idea. And that's how you do things. That concludes, like I said, this concludes all this. You got a lot of work to do. Practice all this. Practice doing your little patch exercises. You're going to use this a lot in a lot of things. If you don't have your 3 pencils, just continue to use your HB. Use the tools you got. If you got them, practice all these until you don't have any white lines showing. I went pretty quick with this stuff today. I really need to wrap this up so we get into the next segment, which is pretty interesting stuff. Anyway, that's it. So long, and see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Above all, share. The more people got tuning in, the more people I can teach, and that's the better I like it. So long for now, guys.